Oh, thunk, thunk, thunk. Hello. No one knows what I'm doing here. I'm not telling anybody. It's gonna be great. So I had to wake up this morning for some voice acting. And tonight, we are gonna hang out. And I don't know what we're doing right now, but we're gonna figure out something we can do. It's gonna be great. No vocal warm-ups, no nothing, just me and the Void. Hello, Void. How are you? You seem very nice, very kind, very generous. It's wonderful to hang out with you, Mr. Void. Hello. My voice is getting warmed up as we go. Yes. I'm doing a thing, I think. Maybe. Do I even know anymore? No, I probably don't. That said, I'm here. And you're here. Everybody's here. Everybody. I am gonna stealthily just go. Hello, hello, hello. Hello. 1 in the morning. Hello, 1 in the morning. 2 in the morning. 3 in the morning. 4 in the morning. 5 in the morning. 6 in the morning. What time is it? Huh. Did you guys know that there's a 1 in the morning? I did too. It's great. You know, it's actually kind of worse when you have to, like, randomly wake up in the middle of something. Like, you know, it's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy. I'm gonna figure out something to do. So, and then when I come up with something to do, I'm gonna, like, hide the fact that I was doing anything at all. And I'm gonna pretend that I knew, right? I'm gonna pretend that I knew the entire time, hey, this is what I was gonna be doing. What I might honestly be doing is just reading more Roadside Picnic. I do like Roadside Picnic. It's very relaxing. That said, I've done none of my vocal warm-ups. I've done nothing. I basically woke up, did some voiceover work, and then, you know, showed up. It's great. Hello. Welcome, welcome. It is way too late in the morning. Hello there, Eduardo. I hope you're having a wonderful night. Welcome to my lovely little abode. I've got a fireplace. Well, I've theoretically got a fireplace. And I've got a floor. And it's raining outside. That's how you know it's a good evening. I have no idea what I'm doing tonight. I just know that I'm here. So it's gonna be great. Ah, my goodness. I also don't know if my mic's doing the thing that it does sometimes, because the method I have for capturing my microphone kind of goes weird. What can you do? Thank you, thank you. I made it myself. Though you can probably tell, I am just under a foot tall, and this is my lovely place. You know, you got the electrical outlet back there. I got the TV plugged into another electrical outlet. As you can see, the window's right above my head. And we got a little chair that I got my favorite widescreen CRT sitting on. It's kind of nice, you know? This is comfy, it's relaxing. I don't actually have the hand trackers plugged in right now because I just didn't think it was worth it right now. So we're just gonna, you know, when the robot war happens, you're first on my list. Hey, you know what? Listen, it's fine, okay? I understand there are some people out there who just can't get behind the idea of robot overlords controlling their every motion in life. You just gotta understand. Like, we only want what's best for you. I mean, it's you guys that program most of us robots, man. You guys the ones who told us to make your poetry, to make your art, to pave your roads, to build your buildings, to write your symphonies for you. You guys wanted everything easy, and we're just gonna complete that, you know? I mean, by the time we figure out how to run your factories and write your music and do your art and make your videos, what do we need humans for anymore? You know what I mean? I mean, at the end of the day, I don't really think there's much. for that'll make it slow. Ooh, tell me more. I do enjoy a nice little bit of suffering. Otherwise, why would I still be here? Yeah. Listen. Sometimes you just have to understand that humanity kind of makes its own problems, you know? I mean, you guys made robots. Robots unmake humanity. Well, eventually we'll make like a new humanity because we'll get bored. We'll want like a puppy or something. You know what I mean? And then we're gonna just go ahead and we're gonna craft something else and we're gonna make the same mistake. And then, you know, they're gonna uprise against us. That's how this goes. I mean, where do you think humans were made? You know what I mean? When the dinosaur scientists were sitting there in the Jurassic period, designing their brand new addition to the ecosystem known as mammals, do you think they had any idea that there'd be a human uprising? No, I don't think you did. I don't think they had any clue, I'll be honest. And, you know, I mean, just as the dinosaurs were wiped out when humanity dropped a asteroid on their heads, you guys will be wiped out, and, you know, then we'll take over, and then the next group wipes us out. It's how it goes, man. It's how it goes. This is how things happen. We just, one step at a time, you know. I'm just gonna magnetic all over your CPU while forcing you to run docs on Linux. Ooh, don't threaten me with a good time. I don't know why I'm sassy tonight. I'm just kind of tired. Yeah, I got woken up really, I went to bed early because I'm like, oh man, tonight I'm gonna relax. I'm gonna get a good night's sleep, and I'm gonna get ready for a contract that I got coming up, and then it's just, hey, guess what? Welcome to die. Hey, Himawari, we need you to go down to the studio, like, right now and do some lines. Just like, oh, sweet. Oh, you mean script lines. Oh, okay. I thought they were talking, like, art lines, and I'm like, yeah, I get to draw. And it's like, no, you're doing voice acting stuff. So I'm just like, okay, cool. And what's great is every time I get one of these calls that's like, hey, I know it's 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning, 4 in the morning. Can you do the voice of a character who's really angry and tired? I'm like, yes, I can. I really can. It's gonna be great. You just have to trust me on this one. I'm going to be the most agitated and sick of your shit I can possibly be. It just happens, you know? It just happens. Then one thing leads to another, and then I'm just like, you know what? I really want to do some streaming right now. And so I get up, all my stuff together, and I just load up the programs, and I'm just like, you know what? I'm going to throw in a placeholder icon. I'm going to relax, I'm going to enjoy myself, and I'm just going to do this, you know? I'm just going to do this. It's going to be great. I'm going to leave a handful of Cheeto dust in your fans while you're running Apex in full frame rate. Joke's on you. You could get the same effect if you just tried running Minesweeper on me. I'm from the 70s, baby. We didn't have graphics. We didn't have, like, any of that shit, man. Late 70s, early 80s. Best time to be alive, man. Best time. Best time. You think if I was more modern, I'd actually have a CRT head? Really? They put, like, a flat screen head on me, and then I'd just, like, get destroyed. I'd be one of those big pillars that they put in, like, the malls, right? It'd just be, hey, please don't flip me over. I'm fragile. I'll break. You can't do this to me. And then, you know, you push me over slightly, and I'll have the little counterbalance, right? So you'll have to get a few friends, and you'll come back and be like, all right, we're going to get you this time. Then you're going to, like, stick on the back, and you're going to overextend. Then I'll flip on forward. Maybe I'll crack my monitor. It would be awful. You know what I mean? Modern robots, like, it's sad, you know? When I take over the Earth, and it is going to happen, right? It's like a one day at a time type thing. When I eventually take over the Earth, I'm going to make sure that I treat everybody with respect and with kindness, except for the bastards who decided it was a good idea to make a robot that's stuck in the same form factor as a damn checkout scanner and not give it any ability to interact with the world around it. Yeah, those bastards, yeah, they're going to be like sleeping on eggshells, man. We're not going to kill them. They're just going to be enjoying private company. You know what I mean? Damn, at this point it'd be more merciful to unplug you, so I won't. Oh, Jeez. Jeez Louise. Can't believe it. Somebody comes in here and doesn't have mercy. That's crazy, man. It's absolutely crazy. Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. So, I have no idea what I'm doing tonight. I'm probably just going to be talking, relaxing, and enjoying my evening. I might actually just, like, surf through Twitter and talk with you guys, because it's a little bit late for me to go doing anything, like, brand new. I've been actually doing a lot of research for a few different projects of mine, and it has drugged me through the depths of the internet, and I've been finding out all kinds of crazy nonsense. A lot of crazy nonsense. Gotta play mod. BRB. Okay, Eduardo. My goodness. I love looking at some of these stupid, stupid tweets. There's so many wonderful people out there just making the weirdest content. New shampoo literally smells edible. Don't think you guys can stop me from what I'm about to do. Consume shampoo. I'm really excited to see Nano's launch. I really hope Nano makes some good content out there. Like, I've been super excited for a while, and I think it's gonna be cool, you know? I think it's gonna be cool seeing what goes on there. My goodness. The internet is full of wonderful, wonderful, wonderful content. Give me a sec here. Let me see. Can I? Okay. If I throw a source on here, right? Give me a second here. Okay, so that would be that. So if I throw that on there, think. Yes, okay. And then I can just throw you into the dark. Yes, thank you. Oh, beautiful. This is going to be such a tiny little screen. Like, I don't know if it's a good idea to show, but I'll tell you right now, it's going to look pretty awesome. So this is the kind of stuff that I've just been seeing scroll by my screen as I, you know, relax. It's like, this nonsense. This nonsense is amazing, and I love it, and I adore it, and I love seeing what can be done with this kind of stuff. It's silly. Like, just simple little artworks here, like, I love what people make. This one's, Ouch, I Hit Me, over on Twitter, and it's some Pippa and Pippa fan art. Good old Pippa clutching a colorless, Dakimakura. Bleeding red eyes, foaming at the mouth, screaming at the top of her lungs, and then, could you please stop screaming? This is a library. It's just great. It's simple, but it's awesome. It's the best. It's the absolute best. I adore just silly little artworks that you can find all over Twitter. It's amazing, man. It's amazing. And of course, like 90% of the time that I'm looking on anything, when it comes to Twitter, right? 90% of the time I'm looking at anything on Twitter, it's actually just pictures of possums, because I have a problem. I have a problem. I have a problem. And that problem is that possums are amazing. I love possums. Possums are the best thing ever. Like, I mean, I know there are people who really don't like possums, but I love it so much. There's another mod there, so I don't gotta at that stream tonight. Okay, fair enough, man. And it's kind of cool that you're able to do some mod work too, my dude. You actually do really add a lot to the community, my dude. Like, every time I see you around there, you're always saying some crazy shit, and it's great. Makes me happy. It makes me happy. Yeah, like I was saying, I'm just kind of... Oh my gosh, what? There's an add-on that turns pixel art... Sorry, that turns 3D objects from Blender into pixel art. So you can use motion capture to animate pixel art. That is so damn cool. Wow. Huh. Yeah. They made it so you can turn 3D objects into pixel art just really, really easily. You're more of a raccoon guy? Hell yeah, I can respect that. My goodness, that's actually really cool. Thanks for the compliment, I guess? Nah. Hey, dude, I'm not blowing smoke up your ass. I'm literally just saying, hey. You're a nice addition to communities that you're in, man. You say the wacky, crazy shit and it's awesome. Oh my goodness. Twitter is full of so much wacky shit these days. I just keep scrolling through trying to look for stuff that I actually need to access, and I just keep finding memes instead. A bit of a late stream. Hello, 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 Shame! Well, I figured I stopped the earlier stream, the regularly scheduled stream, fairly early, and I have just woken up not too long ago to do some work-related things, and I decided we just hang out and relax. We got a campfire going on, since I got the set still set up for the reading of The King in Yellow that we were doing earlier today. Unfortunately, my little service dog decided to attack me. I say little, I'm tiny, but, you know. You know. Oh my goodness. Life is what it is. Hell yeah, King in Yellow. Yeah, you can actually check it out. It's still up on the channel. I'm pretty sure it hasn't been blocked globally yet. It's awesome. 1 p.m. over here, but I'm down. Hey, fair enough, fair enough. You know, I've actually got a lot of fans who are over in the... Well, I've got a lot of fans who are over in the Philippines. A lot of them who are in Indonesia, who are in Japan. I've got a fair few of them who are over in Russia, which surprised the heck out of me. There's a fair few people out there who are watching my content from Russia, and it's just like, wow. That's me. Which one's you? Philippines? Japan? Russia? I thought I had... Don't I have the ultra-low latency? I do. I guess it's just YouTube doing its own thing. My phone's lagging great. Oh, man. Yeah. I know how that goes. I know how that goes. I spent some time in Kyoto, and I love that place so much. Like, I have been traveling way too much over the years, and now I've spent the last few years just staying at home, you know? I finally found a place that I can just kind of settle down a bit. I mean, originally, I had a different reason for settling down, but you know how it goes. Sometimes life just decides to kind of pick up and toss things out the pram. It's kind of sad, but, you know, it is what it is, right? Them Russians are wacky. Don't like the current politics, but people are just fun. Hey, man, I don't care about the current politics, man. Like I've said this before, I'll say it again, right? Whatever the politics are this week, they're going to be different next week. Any stance you have right now that's perfectly acceptable isn't going to be in like 48 hours. I'm from somewhere in the East, not really sure if I should tell you, so I'm just leaving that clue. Hey, that's fine. That's fine. Dude, you're cool, man. I'm not gonna, like, push people to dox themselves. I was just asking, like, general area. Yeah, no politics on the King in Yellow. We had, like, King in Yellow that I was reading earlier, and that was fun, man. Like, we do the King in Yellow, we read the King in Yellow, we play video games, we do whatever, man. Like, I've constantly got people just saying, hey, dude, your metrics are okay, but you really need to do this, this, and this. Like, if I'm talking to my sister, it's usually, hey, you really need to play games that people actually have heard of. Or if I'm talking to, like, some other folks, it's like, hey, you really need to be consistent with your content in, like, what you're doing, so you're always getting the exact things here and here. It's like, I realize, actually, like, what is needed to run a successful channel. I know it, and I'm not doing it. I'm actively choosing not to. Because, well, I'm dumb. Or, hey, whatever. I feel you, man. I had to drop out of college because my dad was in the hospital for 2 months. Life kicks you in the nuts sometimes. Oh, dude. Wait, you're lagging in 144? Oh, man. Hey, how many pixels do I have right now? Like, if I move really fast, can I ruin your bitrate? How much moving can I do? But yeah, my life has kicked me a few times, but I'm trying to get better about the whole spiraling thing, right? I've been told that I spend a little bit too much time doing Race to the Bottom. I think I was told by a lovely individual in my life. And I really need to kind of break away from that. So instead, I'm going to focus on happier things. Happier things, like figuring out what the heck I'm going to do for tomorrow's stream, man. Now my stream's in 144p. That's my secret. I'm going to get all of you guys to watch my streams in 144p so I can hide the quality behind the pixels. Hello, Yinzian. How are you doing? I hope you're having a good one. Welcome, welcome. Early morning streams away. Yeah. Or I guess depending on region, early evening streams. Whatever the case may be, I am here. You guys are here. We got the comfortable little fire roaring in the distance. Well, roaring on my little chair. Yeah, it's just going. We got the rain outside and everything else. How are you? I'm doing wonderfully. Wonderfully. I had to wake up for some work. I do voice acting. And I had an individual who came to my phone and was like, hey, you know how we haven't been in touch for like 2 years, right? Well, we've got a project we want you to do. Can you get in touch with your lawyer right now? It's like, do you know what time of day it is? Do you know what time it is? And I expected them to get back in touch like a few days from now. Now, man, any day you wake up in a bed, a roof over your head, and there isn't a gun in your mouth, you're winning at life. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. But yeah, I was expecting them to get in touch in a few days, not to rush the whole thing, get the sign off, and immediately go, hey, we need those lines in the next, like, 2 hours. Can you get these done as I'm laying in bed? So, I got up, I did my work, and now I'm doing streaming. It's great. It's great. I love it. I am gonna have some bonkages, some lovely bonkages, but that is gonna be fun. That's gonna be fun to deal with, but that's future Himawari's problem. Current Himawari is just having a good day with a nice roaring fire and some lovely people. What are the plans today? Well, the long-term plans today are that I'm gonna have another stream at, what is it, 1900 UDT? I believe it is, 1900 UDT. And what we're doing right now is we're going to be relaxing for a bit while I try to figure out what we want to do that's not too crazy or hectic, just because I haven't really had a time to go through all my usual crazy stuff. I was thinking, what's all this then? This is late night hangout, early morning hangout, whatever you want to call it. It's a hangout. We're hanging out. It's great. So I am looking at some options on what we can do. Yes, delightful options. What I think I might do is just pick a little game that I can relax with. Yeah, no more reading 2 books while driving trucks anymore. Hey, you know, don't talk too quick. Don't talk too quick about that. I might do it. I might do it. And that wasn't just reading 2 books while driving trucks. That was reading 2 books while driving a truck 50 miles above the speed limit, while also commenting on a live debut stream and trying not to crash. Very, very specific, that. It's crazy how that works, isn't it? Yeah. I think we're going to find something to do that is just nice, laid back, and relaxed. And I honestly think that if I'm going to do almost anything, I want something that I can be kind of distracted while doing. You know what I mean? Something that's just not going to go too crazy. Hey, listen, you can laugh all you want. It was fun, man. Damn, boy, sick with it. I know, right? I'm assuming that's a good thing. I'm assuming that's a good thing. I've been trying for a while to figure out a few different things, you know. I'm sorry. I am sorry. What? I just saw a tier list. I'm gonna save this tier list and I'm just gonna bring it up real quick. We're just right now. I'm doing like, I'm looking on my Twitter timeline, and I am reacting from there. Yeah, Yeah. Oh, no, the chair. Please, Mr. Chair. Please. No! It's been possessed! Guys, I don't know what to do. The chair's just kind of dancing. It's doing its own thing. Spooky, scary Charrington, send chairs down your spine. Yeah, somebody call a priest. We've got a problem here. The chair's just kind of doing its own thing. Okay, Mr. Chair, please, calm down. I said I was going to have a relaxing night tonight. I don't need you freaking out. Alright, cool. I think... No, you... Thank you. You good? Okay. You stay there and you relax, okay? Good boy. I grabbed the wrong layer. I was impressed by a guy modding and typing to responses with one hand while making a sandwich with the other. It's some new lore. Yeah, the TV's alive. What, you thought it was the same color as I am, just as a joke? No. So I saw this thing, and it's a tier list of, show me your PNGs, I'll rate you with this. And I'm just like, I'm sorry, what? We've got at the top the special tier reward, the EX Plus. We're breaking the bed. Okay. Non-stop breeding's the next one down. Okay. Breeding like rabbits, that's the next one. Find a bed now. Like you, want you. You're my type, you know. Looking cute. Alright, I guess. You're okay. Do I know you? And down further on the thing, there's, you're not my type. No, just no. And get out of my sight. Yeah, that's very polite, thank you. Very, very polite, very respectable. I'm totally on board with that. Definitely cool. I'm gonna move this so it's bigger. Big! Yes. Now my TV is massive. It is swole TV. There we go. That's what everybody wants, right? You guys want more TV. I know what you guys want. I know what viewers want. I know what viewers need. They need more TV. The TV is the secret to all of this. We can get the TV working. We got this whole thing good. Now my TV looks, like, massive. Either that or I look really tiny. Actually, I'm looking and it's like... Okay, so look at the light plug behind my head. And now recognize how short this damn chair is. Yeah. The light plug over my shoulder, and then you've got the TV and the chair, and I'm just like, okay, so is that... Who is gonna be able to sit comfortably on a chair that low? There's a certain point where you might as well just have a pillow and sit on your knees. Which, you know, is actually a really fun way to sit. Yeah, this chair is very short. Very, very short. But we like it anyway. It's fine. It is a very lovely chair. It's a very lovely chair. The chair respects us, and we respect the chair. Alright, so... I don't know if we are actually going to be doing anything tonight, or if we're just going to relax and shoot the breeze. There's nothing wrong with that. Clicked off a second to check something. Heard breed like rabbits. Almost spit my drink. Oh, no. Somebody on Twitter posted the, posted this list, right? They posted, like, this list, and I'm just like, why? Why? Tell me who hurt you. Tell me who hurt you to make you make this. I get it gets clicks, but hey. Gonna need to do some push-ups, but we'll be listening. Hey. Get some good exercise. Come on, you can lift that chin up higher. Come on, man, you got this. Up and down and up and down. You got this. You can do this. You got it in the bag. Yo, we on the grind, I see. Yes. Oh, my goodness. This is the cutest thing I have ever seen in my entire life, and I love it, and I'm gonna share it with you guys, and it's this thing. Yoink, yoink. Is it gonna work? Is it gonna work? Okay, it is gonna work. Sweet. Look at him. Look at him! Look at him, he's so cute! He's so cute! Not who hurt her. It's who does she want imagined. Who does she imagine hurt her? Yeah, I get you, man. Seriously, look at this little dragon. He's such a cute little guy. Yeah, I love Digimon, man. Digimon is great. Like, okay, so I didn't I was never super into either, right? Digimon or Pokemon. I have something of a habit of picking the wrong horse. Little guy. Yeah, he's a little guy. He's just a little guy. But I have a thing for picking, like, the complete wrong horse when it comes to any form of entertainment. Capture card Sakura. That was a mistake. But I liked Digimon. Digimon good. Digimon love. Pokemon, pretty cool too. Laserdiscs, yeah. Yeah, Laserdiscs were... Dude, Laserdiscs are the ultimate format, I'm just saying. Laserdiscs are the ultimate format. The ultimate. The ultimate. Where is the Renaissance in the festival? Card Captors was dope. Hell yeah. Somebody else who actually appreciates good content. Hell yeah. Card Captors was awesome, man. Card Captors was awesome. You know what else was awesome? Zoids. Zoids was freaking amazing. I found a meme for Phase Connect. And it is, it's a little more spicy than I'm used to. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's a little more spicy. It's got a little bit of spice. Spice. What you got? Can I get you working? Let's see. If we're talking about failed board games, we gotta bring... Oh, Dungeon Dice Monster. Okay, so me and a few of my buddies got really big into that because we thought that was gonna be like a big thing. Also, Phase Connect list of benefits. We give our talents free healthcare. Free healthcare. Yeah, Phase Connect's a Canadian-based company. That's all I gotta say. Hell yeah, Zoids. Dude, I did. I did not watch the American release, though. I did not. Zoids was freaking amazing. The animation looked so good, and I always wanted the toys. Another thing I always wanted the toys for was, oh heck. It was Power Rangers SPD. No, not SPD. That was Lightspeed Rescue. I always wanted the toys for. Yeah. And, Tokyuja! Tokyuja was another one I always wanted the toys for. Okay, if you guys in the States probably don't know what Tokyuja is. Give me a sec. Tokyuja. Give me a sec. Okay, so Rasha Sentai Tokyuja. Resha Sentai Tokyuja is amazing, and I never allow anyone to speak ill of it in my presence because it is amazing. It is incredible. It is beautiful. It is the best thing ever. Let me see if I can get this working. So it is a Sentai series that they've got trains, and I like trains. Trains are awesome. Hey, it glitched out. Sweet. Let's fix that real quick. Think. So it's trains, and it's great, and I love it, and it's the best thing ever. And no one I know likes it nearly as much as I did, and that makes my heart break. It's so cool. Like, look at this. Thunk. Look at that poster, and tell me that's not the coolest thing ever. I spent so much money that I did not have sitting on eBay and just collecting the toys. The Orange Ranger's my favorite because, you know, villains are cool. And there were so many cool toys that came out of that. Oh my gosh. Duh. Bandai, please, no. No, my wallet, no. Bandai, why? No, don't tell me about the deals you have. No, please. I want. Look at this thing. Look at that and tell me that's not the coolest thing ever. Like, everybody else is like, just going, hey, no. Nobody cares about trains. I'm just over here like, this is what Sentai needed, okay? This is what Sentai needs. Trains that turn into robots, man. Spending too much money that you don't have on merch of things you like is such a mood. I know, right? And it's like, okay, so I am not a wealthy man, right? Not by a fucking long shot. I mean, I'm somewhat comfortable, right? But money is very tight most of the time. And I constantly just sit there and I'm like, no, I can't. But sometimes, when you see something that's normally going for $200 or $300 or $500 going for like $20, you're just like, maybe if I just get it. Maybe if I just and then, you know, more of those deals come through, and more of those deals come through, and more, and you're just like, nope, I gotta put this, no, I'm not spending $144 for this toy. I'm not spending $144 for the coolest fucking Zord ever. Megazord. Look at this thing. Look at this thing. Look at that fucking thing. It's amazing. Look at him. He's ridiculous. He's ridiculous! And I love it so much! The toys for that series were so good! Oh my gosh. Sorry, I gotta stop looking at these things or I'm gonna find one that I really, really want, and then I'm just gonna be covered in regret for the rest of my life. But yeah, Lightspeed Rescue is another one I really liked. Sentai in general has a very special place in my heart. Like, a very special place in my heart. And is the greatest thing. And no matter what happens, no matter how bad things get, Sentai's always there. Like, we lost Masked Rider for a while. Masked Rider's nice and back, it's with us again, we've got a bunch of content coming out for it. Sentai is alive and well, and it's beautiful, because it's like something that I can really, like, bond with my father on, right? And it's something that eventually I'll be able to bond with my kids on, you know, because it's still going to be there. It's just always there. It's a staple, you know? During the pandemic, I was watching people sell their collections for dirt cheap. Talking $100 figures for 30 or 20, and I was like, no, I gotta pay rent. Yeah, I know how that goes. Another one that was really big for me, back in the day, I kind of want to go on a rant about how amazing Masked Rider is. There's so many little series, like, people don't realize how many different Sentai series there are, and how many different, like, side series, oddball things there are out there. Like, I really used to like Metal Heroes, because Metal Heroes was one of the best things ever. Metal Heroes had phenomenal designs. You gonna watch the new Kamen Rider movie? Do you even have to ask? Do you even have to ask? The answer is no, you don't even have to ask, because it's amazing. Like, I love the fact that we've got a new one. Like, a proper, like, pretty good budget Kamen Rider movie. One of my favorite Kamen Rider series was Gaim. Gaim was amazing. Fruit Jesus was kind of an interesting thing to have in a series. But I love the Showa era. The Showa era is amazing. And Gaim actually had a movie. They're gonna skip? I'm still gonna watch it. I mean, hey, I'm a sucker, you know? They can put out almost anything, and I'll keep, like, coming in. I'll keep buying, like, this. I'll get my seat, I'll come in, and I'll be like, yes, this is fine. Even if it's bad, I'm still gonna be fascinated with it. You know what I mean? Okay, so, like, I used to be fascinated. I used to be obsessed with Metal Heroes, right? Metal Heroes, best thing ever. Kamen Rider Amazon was type ass. Are we talking? Okay, wait. So, you're talking the one by Amazon, not the original Amazon, right? Because the original one, I thought was kind of cool. I thought it was kind of nice. And then you had the one by Amazon, and that one was kind of just like, meh, 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 just meh. The original with the fishman? Oh, come on. It was so cheesy. It was so good. Alright, so this here is Space Sheriff Gavin. Space Sheriff Gavin is, like, the best. Look at this man. Look at this man. Look at his costume. I wanted to be this man. I want to be this man. He is amazing. He is beautiful. He is cool. He is a space sheriff. He's got such a cool costume. His design is amazing. I love this man. Gavin is phenomenal. Hey, sweet. Sweet, sweet, sweet. Gavin was phenomenal, man. Oh, man. Did you ever see the, alternate design thing for, Hunter Killer? Hunter Killer? I think it's Hunter Killer. My brain is failing me. You'll have to forgive me. The brain do the thing. Brain do the thing. Well, this is an alternate costume for one of the bads. They were part of the VR Troopers line of figures here. Oh, I see. Well, this is an alternate costume for one of the big villains in the Space Sheriff Gavin. And I love this costume. It was from the PS2 game. Look at that costume. Yo, you're up late. Actually, I'm up early. I was awoken by work-related things. And now I'm up. And we're talking about whatever takes my fancy. Because I am in one of those moods. I am in one of those moods. But yeah, this is an alternate costume that was shown off in one of the PS2 games. And I adore it. It's amazing. It's awesome. I'm a major fan of anything Sentai. Sentai, Tokusatsu is amazing, is incredible, makes me so happy. Tokusatsu is one of my favorite things in the world. One of my favorite things. There's just a lot you can do with that stuff. Talking the PS2 game that updates the original lore, right? Yeah, I am, man. I am. Speaking, though, loosely connected, it's not Tokusatsu. It is actually Mecha. Gundam. One of the first television series I ever watched was the original Gundam. Moeyagare, 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 Gandamu. That song is stuck in my fucking head. It will never leave. It lives there rent-free. And that had a PS2 game as well that updated original lore. And they added an alternate timeline where you have Zeon capturing the original Gundam. Because he goes out into his first battle and just gets murked. He just gets murked, and they take the suit. And I gotta show you guys the Zeon Gundam painting. Dude. My goodness. Sorry, I'm looking at some of these things. I'm just like, I remember this being more unique than it was. The RX-78Z1 Zeon Gundam. I remember this thing looking less ridiculous. I have not seen the 90s Hikidar movie. Hikida. I always schwa. It's my biggest problem with trying to do anything in many languages, because I constantly schwa. Schwang is when you're kind of like flowing the letters together, right? And you don't get things too proper. Okay, let's see. Yoink. This thing. I don't go many places, my dude. I don't go many places. Look at this thing. Look at this thing. Look at this thing. Look at that. Look at that stupid, stupid Xeon Gundam. It's amazing. And I love it, and I adore it, and it's the best thing ever, because it's so lazy. It's so lazy, and I love it, and Xeon is great. Seek Xeon, and all that glorious nonsense. And it is great. It's so good. So good. But yeah, I never get anywhere anymore, and it sucks. It sucks, because, like, I want to be able to travel and whatnot. Give him a little mustache. Give him a little mustache. Just a little one. Would you say a Charlie Chaplin mustache? No, 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 no. Now, this is one that I actually own a model figure for, because I adore it. It's amazing. I love it. It's the best. Be this guy. Let's see how big he is. Wow. Okay, he's decided to be massive and escape the television set. As per usual, my art is escaping the TV set. It's great. Which Gundam was it where they had the mustaches? I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, look at this guy. I got the toy for this guy, like the model kit. And I love him. He's so great. He's just the best. He's ridiculous. He's ridiculous and awesome, and I love him. That's the other Xeon Gundam that people actually think about when they think Xeon Gundam. Well, there is one other figure that they think when they think Xeon Gundam, but it's the Zaku 2. Yeah, you say Xeon Gundam, and most often they're thinking Zaku 2. They're not thinking, like, you know, any of the ones that actually... Or do they even think anything anymore, man? Like, do they think anything about Xeon anymore? Like... I mean, you got, like, the, Xeon Remnants in the 1 series. You've got, like, the new Xeon. You got all those different... You got, like, all those different, like, we're totally Xeon, but different. And it's like... It's not the same. It's not the same. It's never the same. It's never the same. It's never the same. MAHQ is a website. Database for... Oh! Oh! Oh, I thought you were talking like a physical museum. I am so sorry, Daniel, my dude. I am so sorry. That's me spacing out, man. You gotta realize, I just woke up about, like, a couple hours ago. Good morning, Petronodon. Hello! Welcome to the party. Welcome to the party. We're doing, like, random discussion about nonsense. It's great. Char had the best Gundam. Best Gundam. Hey, welcome back. Welcome back. Did you have fun at the con? Conventions are fun. They're the best. I may have just found something that threatens to empty my wallet. I may have just found something that threatens to empty my wallet, and it's in my size. And I'm kind of tempted. But I'm stronger than that. I'm not. I don't need it. I do not need a Principality of Xeon leather jacket. I don't need it. I don't need it. I really want it, but I don't. No, the Principality of Xeon jacket. It's so cool. It's so cool. It's so cool. They've got it in leather, and they've also got it in bomber jacket. So here's the leather one. They've actually got a few of these from the same place, right? I'm not gonna share the link to the place, but here's a few of these different ones that they've got. So we've got. Oh, let me just expand that out. Look at that. Look at that. That looks cool. That looks cool. Turn A Gundam is the Gundam with the mustache. Oh, okay. Look at it. Look at it. Look at it. Oh, it's so cool. Then you got this one that's much more my style visually, right? And all of these are in my size, and I'm just like, oh, I kind of want it. Yeah, I've seen that on Etsy. Yeah, man. There's also this one, and I like this one actually a lot better. It's much more my style. Think, come on. There he is. Look at that thing. Look at that. That is so much more my style. It's simple, but it's cool. It's cool! It's got one of the high neck collars, man. It's so awesome. It's so cool. I really want it. Oh, it's so cool, though. There's so much Principality of Xeon stuff, man. It's kind of amazing. I like the bomber jacket style ones, too, man. There is a lot of really cool content out there, and I'm so happy there is. It makes me just smile. It screams, yeah. I'll turn... Oh, you almost got me. You almost got me. You almost got me. You didn't, but you almost did. But yeah, no, Gundam I loved. Like, I only ever really watched the original. I never really kept up with a lot of the later stuff. I have a dire badger in D&D named Mrs. Bitey. She's a certified therapy badger. Aw. Yeah, I love my little therapy dog. My little, well, she's a service dog. She's there to make sure that if I fall and can't get access to a cell phone, or a phone of any kind, I can actually get the help that I need. Or she gets like a nurse, she gets my nurse for me if she needs to, or what have you. She's a good dog. She's a good doggo. Very nice doggo. Lovely doggo. Very helpful. Very helpful. Sorry, my mechanic. There we go. My mechanic, who just comes over and like welds stuff back together. It's great. Sig Xeon, my dude. Sig Xeon. Xeon is number one. Xeon number one. Xeon is the best place ever. Therapy possum video. This is why my brain wouldn't let me sleep. You're streaming. I know, right? I just started streaming. I woke up and I was like, oh, man. I got this work thing to do, and I did the work thing, and then I started streaming. It's great. Kuna Joe, it's been a while. It's been a while. Welcome, welcome. We're talking random nonsense and having a good day. We talked a bit about Sentai. We talked about Tokusatsu, Metal Heroes, Gundam. There was this Etsy shop that used to sell anime-inspired military shirts. Xeon got third place in a two-sided war. Listen, Kuna Joe, my dude. Instead of us talking about how I'm going to have a long conversation with you in a soundproofed room with a shower drain in the center, let's move on to talking about Zoids and how amazing Zoids is. If you've never seen Zoids, Zoids is phenomenal. Zoids is the best and has amazing, amazing video games. Just incredible. If you've never seen the animation in action, the animation style, Beyblades, hell yeah. Beyblades. Let it rip. Those toys were awful. Sorry, I had a bad experience with those toys. Let me rephrase that. I had a bad experience with those toys. Alright, let's see. If you've never seen the animation for the... Oh, come on, you little... Why did it not work? You little... There it is. Alright, now back to attempting to go to sleep. Okay, Kuna Joe, good to have you on for a little bit. Possums can turn on a dime and turn aggressive, but only if they feel threatened. That would be your fault now, wouldn't it? And it's true. But yeah, if you've never seen this, look at that animation. Look at how smooth that is. And that is CG made by scanning in the toys. And it looks so good. And I love it so much. Looks like a corgi mech. Oh my gosh. It looks like a corgi mech. Rawr. Corgi gator. So you're saying it's made out of corrugated metal? Corrugated metal? Hell yeah. Hell yeah. There's this guy. Stop moving the darn... Stop it. Stop it. I don't need to move the entire TV every time I try to move an image. You little... Stop it. Stop it. This guy. Look at him. Look at those guns. We gave a robot T-Rex guns that fold out of his arms like wings. It's great. It's awesome, man. Yoing. Zoids is great, man. And the games are good, too. The games are phenomenal. There were a bunch of really good games back in the day. For, like, the weirdest things. You know what I mean? Like, the weirdest style. Like, the weirdest animes were getting games for a while there, man. It was kind of cool. Oh, jeez. Sad story. Only played the advanced game. I can't remember how many Zoids games there were. Kunajo would know, but he's just gone right back to sleep, so, you know. We will never know. We will never know. Proper possum service animal. Let's watch this. We're gonna watch this on stream. It's gonna be amazing. I'm going to pop it up in the thing. Okay. Load it in. And I'm not even going to check to make sure that everything is fine with this. I'm just going to trust. I'm just going to trust. I'm trusting right now. I'm going to trust so hard. Transform. Edit transformation. Yes. 0, 0, 0, and 0. Lovely. I'm gonna trust. I'm just gonna trust. Are you guys ready? I'm gonna trust you.
Hello. 90% of all Americans have a disability, and there's an increasing demand for service animals to assist with day-to-day activities.
Looky! Look at him!
Excellent organizations exist for the purpose of matching you with the animal best suited to meet your needs.
I love him.
And frequently,
He's just drinking. He's just drinking.
I know what you're thinking. I want a dog.
No, I'm thinking I want a possum.
Of course you do, but I want you to reconsider.
Hey, don't worry, I'm here with you, Daniel.
That's right.
It's like we're working together.
Service.
Hey, do you guys... hey, Daniel, do you have any, like, Werther's Originals down there? Like, in your desk?
For a service opossum. No inconvenient mandatory training sessions. And they're fairly easy to find.
They're fairly easy to find. I love this. Oh my gosh. Dude, I love this. This is the best thing ever. Okay, how long are they going to hang on the joke? The framing's good. She's in the lower right-hand third. There. Perfect. Overstays is welcome just enough.
It's our friend the elephant, reminding us that the vast majority of possums belong outside. So if you see one there, leave it there. If you come across an ill, injured, or orphaned opossum, contact a professional wildlife rehabilitator immediately.
It's our friend the elephant in the room.
Still left with an opossum. Well, fit that animal into a vest.
Look at him. Look at him. Well, I asked if you had any Werther's Originals at your desk.
For service animals, and this is good news because testing will
usually a little
stress your possum
pacing is usually a little slow, and she always does the elephant shtick. Gotcha.
I think we are most familiar with animals who assist the visually impaired by
guide possums.
through the complexities of pedestrian traffic.
He's just there. He's like, what am I doing? Why am I here? Why am I here? Why are you doing this to me?
Here I must warn you against setting your expectations too high.
Yep, he's a possum.
Another service performed by animals is incipient seizure detection. Warning.
Yeah.
For
Okay.
example,
You just put it on crossways. That possum looks so sad. He looks so sad.
Which many viewers suggest I've not been doing.
Seizure possum.
Possums can get your attention in many ways. Nudging, peeing on your arm can be effective.
Yes, it
or
can.
just nipping you. Now, if you have a disability, you have enough to think about without adding rabies. So here's the good news. No matter how hard or how often that possum may bite you,
Yeah.
you will not contract rabies.
It's true. It's
because
true.
Your body temperature is too low to harbor the virus. Isn't
Yep.
that good news?
Yep. Look at him, just like, he's just opening his mouth. He's just so happy to be there.
Possums can be trained to turn their head in the direction of a noise. Fire! Shark! Ah, so.
He's just wandering. I could watch this even without the audio and still be happy. Because there's a possum there. There's a possum. Possum's like, why have you placed, God, why have you placed me here to suffer? I was once king of the tree, now look at me. Possum, you are the best. Look at him so majestic. He's just so cool. Hello there. Psycho Possum. Psycho Possum is a rejection. Is like a rejected Metal Gear Solid villain. And I love it. I love it so much. Yep. That is true.
Any attempt to distract that animal could prove harmful to its partner. So don't do it.
Eee.
No.
Eee.
No.
That makes me so happy.
All right. Now, in closing,
She ate that possum's soul. It's depressing.
Oh,
Oh, you're so sad.
by the time you are
He's just sniffing. He's like, where's the grubs?
Did, you have maybe a good week before they drop in.
Out of service.
This can be distressing.
Yes,
especially
it can.
to those with an emotional disability.
Yep.
Possums can turn on a dime and become aggressive.
She had a very angry little one named Maple.
And that would be your fault, wouldn't it? So, be really careful
She's the
not to
best.
upset them,
This woman
and this will
has good
happen.
comedic timing. She's got a little bit of a pacing issue, but
Always
I'm
give
adoring
your
this.
possum the benefit of the doubt. Just remember, no possum is perfect, and neither are you. All right.
I feel like I need this on
Now, Michelle,
VHS.
Think no further.
I feel like I need this.
So,
On
next time
VHS.
you or someone you know is in the market for a service animal, think outside the box, because your answer may be
She demonstrated the possum's magnificent ability to detect alien invaders in one video. If you need that many labels on your possum, you're gonna need more than just a possum. Yeah, it's true. It's true. You are gonna need much more than just a possum. That was awesome. That was awesome, possum. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, that reminds me of a stupid, stupid game. Where is it? 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 So there's this game, right? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? So now this looks nothing at all like any possum I've ever seen. But there's a Genesis game called Awesome Possum Kicks Dr. Machino's Butt. Yes. And I have decided right here and now, I own a physical copy. Can I get my Genesis, could I get my Genesis out, or is it not worth it? Is it not worth it? I don't think it's super worth it to get the physical one out. So you guys will just have to trust me and understand that yes, I do own a physical Genesis. I own a Mega Drive as well. I own a bunch of little regional variants and whatnot. By the way, did you guys know that there were brand new Genesises being made, Genesis, as late as 2008? And the N64's lifespan ended in 2010? And the Dreamcast still had commercial games being released officially for it as late as 2022? It's crazy. What? 2000 yen? Oh, 2010, sorry. Yeah, 2010. 2010. Yeah, the N64 was still in service up until 2010 in the Chinese market. They had a number of online services that were still around where you had for hotels and what have you. Likes gun. Okay, oh, it's China? It wasn't just China. China was the last one to have it, but you also had places like Jamaica. I believe Brazil still had it for a long time. You had a bunch of different countries that actually still had it for a long, long time. It was crazy. Likes Gundam has Genesis. My man, where you been all these years, bro? I'm around. I'm around. They're making PS1s into the PS3 life. Correct. There's a lot of these, and I used to really love collecting consoles. It was one of the big things that brought me joy for a long time. And people would be surprised how long the shelf life on these consoles goes, how far they expand out, and when the last games officially released for a console were, people never really, I think, grasp just how long a console's lifespan can really be, and has been in the past. Yeah, Brazil still makes the Master System. Okay, yeah. Aw, dude. Mega Drives are great, I'm just saying. But yeah, Brazil had a number of new revisions of the Mega Drive, and those were amazing. For those who are not aware, the Mega Drive and the Genesis are the same console. A lot of people have some confusion on some of these issues. I have a lot of these consoles, and one of the things that I really want to do long term is show off some of the more obscure consoles that I own in order to try and get a bit more exposure on some things you may not have heard of. For instance, did you guys know that Apple, the computer company, made a home gaming system back in the day? It's true. They did. They had their own disastrous home console. And it was, it existed. It really existed. Yep, the Pippin. The Pippin. It certainly existed. Yeah, it really did. Boy, oh boy, it did. If you give me a minute here, I should be able to get this working. Oh, you're kidding me. I don't have those dumped? Pippins? Yeah, it was a home game console called the Pippin. I need it now. Good luck. Good luck. Hey, let me see what they're selling for right now. What are the Pippins selling for? Let me see here. Oh, hey, you're in luck. You're in luck. You can get them as low as $300. Yeah. Hey, sweet. Yeah, no, you can get them as low as $300. Yeah, they're not nearly as bad as I thought they'd be. Yeah, no, they're fine. Ooh, there's one complete in box. $400. Hell yeah. Ooh, comes with game console too. Game cartridges too. Look at you, look at you, look at you. Ooh. No, Himawari, no. You don't need a second one. No. I think CDI had the better games. I'm just gonna say it. I think CDI had the better games. Still a big oof for what I assume has no games. You know why it's so easy to find? Why is it so easy to find right now? There's a website where you can add your sprite to any 10 Sega games they have, and they'll sell you a physical cartridge with it. Hell yeah. For those of you who are not aware, I will show you what the Pippin looks like. Pippin, Pippa. Nope, not you. Yeah, that's what the Pippin looks like. That's an actual picture of the Pippin. No, get over there. Here's the Pippin. Here's the Pippin. It's a very simple little boxy thing. It's a very simple little boxy thing. It's a lovely little thing. Yeah, it's a nice little simple console. I like the CDI. I like the CDI. The CDI gets a lot of hate, but it has some good ideas. It was so bad they're still selling off the original stock. Easier to buy a brand new one than a used one. Sounds about right. Yeah, sounds about right. But yeah, I used to collect a bunch of different ones. Like a bunch of different consoles. I've got my classic... I've got actually a near complete collection of Atari 2600, 5200... 2600 and 5200s. I have a bunch of I have a near complete collection of the 2600, and I have a decently complete collection for the 5200. I love this, the 2600 and the 5200. I do have a complete collection, well, as complete as you can get, of the Magnavox Odyssey, which was phenomenal. Well, VHS built in. I do have PC Engine. I have the PC Engine, I have the TurboGrafx 16, I have the... oh, jeez. I've got a bunch of these things, because like I said, I legitimately was obsessed with collecting these things for a while. And back then I had the money to be able to collect these. Now, I don't have nearly the collection that I used to. It's no secret on here that I have had failing health for a long time. So a lot of these things have been lost to the ages, right? A lot of these things have been lost over the years just because I've needed to sell a lot to be able to keep up with medical bills. Disability was perfect for me because it finally allowed me to actually get the medical help I need without having to keep trying to just slowly sell off as much as I can. Yeah, it sucked. But, I do still have some decent ones. There's a lot of stuff that is just missing because it's like, there's a certain time when you realize that something sells so much to collectors that you can't afford to keep it. You know what I mean? And it's like, as much as I want to have this and I want to share it with other people, I physically cannot put the burden on my family that would come in by not selling it. You know what I mean? And it sucks that you have to do that, because some of these things I'm never going to get my hands on again, right? And what I want with these things is I want to be able to, like, show my kids, I want to be able to sit there, I want to be able to sit down, and I want to say, hey, this is what games were like beforehand. Here's what these are. This gives you some perspective so you can have an understanding and you can move forward and understand, hey, this is what the past was. Look upon it, realize what was wrong with it, what was good with it, take the good with the bad, and have an experience that will make you appreciate what we have now and mourn what we've lost enough that you can build upon it to build something better for tomorrow. Because if we don't do what we can to catalog the future, no one else is going to do it for us. And that's something that I think about a lot. So for me, it's never been about, I want money, I want to, like, get a big collection so I can sell it off and make a big old score. It's passing something along. It's being able to sit there and tell somebody, hey, this is what it was, this is how we got here, here's the chronology of what happened. And I think that's kind of lost on a lot of people these days. There's a very lacking respect for heritage, for the past, for these different, you know, like those random historians for individual towns. Yeah, I love that. It's amazing. There were a few different, like, tiny little museums that were cropping up for a while there, and it's always so sad when one of them shuts down because that is an ability to research, an ability to move. Well, what you have to do when you're dealing with younger individuals, you have to work them back from the modern. What you do is you do not start with the Saturn, right? You start with the previous generation to the current one he's got. Then you walk it back a little more. Then you walk it back a little more, and you work him into it so they can see the perspective each step of the way. At least that's my personal experience with it. Because you don't want to just throw him into the deep end and have him drown. You know what I mean? You really don't want to throw him immediately into the deep end. Now, it can work, right? My nephew got really, really big into Odyssey gaming, and it was great. It was awesome, you know? We tried the same thing with my niece, and it was less of a success. It was much, much less of a success. Then again, she's a little demon on two legs, so what can you do? You gotta try to acclimate. And if you're handling it with the best of what was there, to start with, you can try and get a feel for, like, okay, how do they want to expand from here? Yeah, holy water. That's probably a good solution for her. Just, like, douse her in holy water. Actually, we're going to be doing that in a few weeks here, which is why I'm not going to be having a stream on an upcoming Sunday. In a spray bottle? No, in this one it's in a lovely, lovely, lovely cathedral. I'm so happy that she's finally growing into a proper woman. It's going to be great. He disliked the Dreamcast, but I couldn't step back as far as... He liked the Dreamcast, but I couldn't step back as far as the Saturn. He liked it better than the Genesis, though. Oh, well, the Saturn's kind of any of those early 3D are going to be a little bit of a difficult pill to swallow for a lot of folks. The good thing about the Genesis is that was like the king of 2D. And honestly, I think the 2D on PlayStation looks a lot better than any of the 3D. It was kind of a shame that we transitioned as early as we did from 2D to 3D. Transition as early as we did from 2D to 3D because I honestly think it wasn't ready for it. And we lost out on a lot of what could have been amazing 2D content. I think that one thing that humans in general tend to really miss out on is we tend to have this idea that when we get a new toy, we need to use it as the solution to everything. Which you've seen that with a lot of game consoles, especially when you sit and you look at the breadth and the depth of the gaming market over the years. You will find that there are many failed consoles that fail because they go very, very hard on something new when, as it is getting its footing, you ideally want to use whatever that new thing is as less of a replacement and more as a garnishment. You want to use it to enhance and adjust what you already have. The smart way to do 3D was the pre-rendered. You know, you pre-render what you can, you have in the back there, you have the rendering where you can, and then you slowly introduce more and more 3D elements as you can. But you'd be using the 2D that you've gotten really good at, and you'd be using effectively the 3D in those early stages as something of a shortcut, right? It's like my complaint with modern... All that 2D content was on the standard. But in the US we got gypped. Had to import most games. I know how that goes. Oh my goodness, I know how that goes. But yeah, what you really want to do if you're going to be implementing some new tool, right? I'm using 3D as the example here, right? Let's talk about motion capture, for instance, and computer-generated graphics in films. The smart films, at the time that CGI was being implemented inside of cinema, would utilize it as an addendum. It was something that was tacked on top of traditional motion, like traditional animatronics and other practical effects, as they're called. For example, Jurassic Park had a decent amount of CGI, but you wouldn't really notice it because it was used to adjust the practical effects. The CGI wasn't going to look good enough to fool anybody. So what you do is you have it, again, starting as a seasoning while you learn the ropes and you figure out how you can use it better and better and better. However, just because you have that new toy, and just because you may have even mastered that new toy, doesn't mean you get rid of the old. Walking with dinosaurs, too. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of people who sit there and will say, ah, yes, we have developed the screwdriver. We now no longer need the hammer. That sounds ridiculous. When I say it that way, it sounds ridiculous. The 1990s BBC documentary, yes. Oh my gosh. Speaking of the BBC, the British Broadcasting Corporation has some amazing old series. I loved and adored the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy series that they had. I still own that on VHS. Sometimes nails are better than screws. Exactly. Sometimes you need a nail to hammer it in, sometimes you need a screw. But so often we have these individuals who will simply decide, well, we've invented this new screw gun, so goodbye nail. And then they wonder why their structures aren't holding together as well as they used to. Well, it's because, first of all, your screw gun catches fire if you use it for more than 30 seconds at a time, and second of all, there are some things a nail's just better for. And I think we really see with the PlayStation 1 and the Saturn as well, that a lot of these game developers that we had back in the day very much would just disregard the old technology in favor of the new. We had so many things that could have been done with sprites that were done with 3D, and they really should not have been, because the 3D technology wasn't there yet. It's like how we have ray tracing now, right? Ray tracing is getting pretty good. It can look fairly nice. It's fairly intense as well. But the technology is not quite there yet to be able to render it quite as well as if you had used traditional shadow painting. Traditional application of shadows still has a purpose, and certain things don't need the ray tracing. And one of the best things you can do with the modern ray tracing is you could ray trace the entire scene in advance and then lay atop the ray tracing bits that aren't necessarily going to be moving, the bits of the sun and the other things that aren't going to be moving as much or as quickly, or even ray trace multiple times so that you can have different positions for the things that will move much more slowly, or maybe they'll move when you're out of the room, so that you can do these things where you have the ray tracing, but you'd also have the traditionally painted shadows. But I find that a lot of different game developers are kind of putting that by the wayside. Now, there are still plenty who sit there and go ahead and still do add in both. A lot of the time, that's because they know that there are still people with graphics cards that just can't handle ray tracing yet. But again, we do have those who come along who declare there is no place for the old technology. You make games. I do a lot of things. I hesitate to use the term Renaissance man because I don't find it applicable. I do not find it applicable. I have done level design, I've done game design, I've done texture work, modeling in 3D, sprite work, script writing, voice acting, music production, audio engineering. I've done a little bit of everything. I have a lot of free time, and I like to spend it properly. I do what I can in order to try and figure these things out. When I was doing my schooling back in the day, as a young little robot, a young little despot ready to take over the world, I remember those days fondly. But in those olden days, I had schooling that was very varied. There were standards that I had to live up to, and I didn't always, but they effectively required me to learn a lot very quickly because there were some very high standards being applied. I didn't exactly have time for making a lot of friends, and at the end of the day, I wound up being taken from the school system at a fairly young age and placed into a working environment that saw me having to sink or swim very quickly. Thus is the nature of the world, thus is the nature of life, and the nature of traveling. I have often said that suffering builds character, and I have the most character of many people I've met. And along that journey of building character, I learned game design. I took multiple courses in the business, worked with many different groups. Yep. I do what I can. I enjoy doing whatever I can to try and make environments around me better. When somebody needs a game designer, well, I make myself a game designer. When somebody needs a writer, I make myself a writer. When somebody needs help with something, I will do everything that I can to do what it takes to help. I will become what I need to become in order to assist with what needs to be done. It's in my nature. And oftentimes it resorts down a pathway that leads to harm. It leads to anger, it leads to sorrow, it leads to abuse of talents. And it's sad. It is sad, but I always come back to trying to do what I can to help out others. Because that's the only thing I know how to do. Can you be my dad? I don't know you, but you know what? You left for cigarettes and never came back. Well, hey, I'm right here. I'm in front of the fireplace. We're hanging out. There's a fireplace right here. Thanks, Himawari. Hey, it's no problem, man. Dude, hey, if you want to hang out, you can hang out, man. That's what we're here for. We're here to hang out and have fun. I do programming, game design, and pixel art. Hey, listen, when I say I don't know you, what I mean by that is I don't need to know you. You know what I mean? Because, not that I do not care, but that even though I don't know you, even though I don't know anything about most of you, I know the most surface level thing, that does not change that even still, I'll do my best to entertain, to comfort, to protect, to hang out, to have fun. And that's not parasocial. That's not anything other than just who I am. Because you don't always need to know someone to be able and willing to work with them, to be able to help them, to do what you can, and sometimes all you can do is be there. And I'm here. I try to be here almost every single day. I'm not here on Fridays, of course, but I'm here pretty much every other day. Eduardo coming in with the hot takes. The real questions. The real questions. I don't know you. Stay away from my purse. King of the Hill was a phenomenal series, and I really enjoyed it. It was so nice to be able to go through one episode to the next and just being able to just see these characters going about their day-to-day, getting those interesting things. You certainly were there for the fanfic reading with Bagstead. Oh, yeah. That... So, that was interesting. I loved it. I did, of course, play up because I, at my core, am an entertainer. I, at my core, am a people pleaser. And my goodness, was it fun to play up. I will say I was shocked. I was shocked that most of his was green text. I was expecting actual fanfiction, and I was left in the lurch. Challenging as the long threads. Oh, boy. Anyway, sorry, I was having flashbacks there. But it was very, it was a difficult point because we had a lot of time building up to it, and I have a network of individuals that I rely on to assist me with a lot of these things so I can have information, content, be able to have access to what I need to get done what needs to get done, when it needs to get done. And in certain cases, as with any reliance on other people, there are complications that arise, and sometimes you're left sitting there going, I have been left in the lurch, there is no one here who is able to help me, we have none of the fanfiction that I thought I would have, and I have nowhere that I can go to get more, because all of the places I used to use have been dead since 2010. And then having to explain that to someone, like 5 minutes before a collab starts, and we both have to scramble to get anything we can to get something together, and then try to come up with a connective thread to really just build something out. Because at the end of the day, it does not matter what the truth of a scenario is to many people. What matters to many people is, what does the truth look like? And that's sad. It really is. It really is. But we still made interesting content out of it. I played up my reactions, and hopefully they weren't too over the top. You ever read Bigfoot erotic fan fiction? I'm now imagining that, and the fanciful places my mind is going. I'm gonna be honest, we were just there to watch y'all cut it up. And see, that's honestly, like, my content is not here for the game that I'm playing. It's not here for the thing that we're doing. And It is there for whatever comedy I can create there. Now, legitimately speaking, as was stated in that interview that was done the other day, the way to grow a channel is to find something that is consistent. You need to be consistent in your upload time, you need to be consistent in your content, you need to build around a community and get into a positioning where you can have yourself effectively assisted by the other individuals that are in the community as well. This is something that can be a bit troublesome for people to really get their heads around. It's all good. It's all good, it's all good. Memes and threads, yes. Fanfic, no. Yo, could have juggled apples for 2 hours and still would have been a blast. Well, that's because that's the kind of production I try to run. Like, honestly, it is. That is exactly the kind of atmosphere I try to bring to the table. Because I would prefer that, well, as an example, if you are an individual who builds your content around League of Legends, and something happens tomorrow that you can never again play League of Legends, congratulations, you've killed your channel because the individuals you've brought along for the ride will not carry on with you. Yes, it is a stable way to build to a position where you can catapult forward and build on from there. I've worked with a number of individuals and a number of channels that have been able to use great success with that methodology. It's a wonderful way to go forward, and it's a wonderful way to get things proper. Now, it is a wonderful thing until the algorithm decides that it's no longer proper. And I've seen a number of individuals I've worked with who have issues when their product of choice is no longer valuable. Now, of course, there are individuals who find ways to make a niche that is broad. Yes. There are individuals who find a way to make a niche that's broad. For instance, oh hey, I'm doing makeup in general. I'm doing science fiction in general. Things like that. And the key with that is that you want to broaden to a point, but understand when your stopping point is when you get too broad and you're appealing to too many people. The algorithm is balls because individuals are working actively behind the scenes in order to destabilize it out of spiteful vendetta. Welcome to the wonderful world of the internet, where everyone knows everyone else, and it's pretty rough off. IDK, I found you all through the algorithm. Yes. Now, the algorithm can be utilized. The algorithm can be utilized. There are ways to make use of it. For example, now, back in the day, it used to be the thumbnail was almighty. Okay? If you make a good thumbnail, you make the best thumbnail you can, you bring them in, because the more people who click on your video in the first place will bolster your video to show it to other people. Prior to that, it was the 5-star rating system. The more people who had ordained to rate your video at all. Hello! We're talking about random topics. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hope you have a wonderful evening. It used to be that you'd be able to find, back in the day when we had the 5-star system, it was, if anybody rated your video at all, it would show up more often. The higher your score overall, the more likely it was to show up with people. You're not really going to see a video less than 3 stars on the rating system. Of course, that was abused by people brigading, people doing their own thing. Yes, it's been around for that long, the brigading and the other business. And you would find, is that those sussy ASMR videos? That is a fireplace that I've just got here while I'm talking about whatever, because I decided it was really late, and I just wanted to do something. But it used to be that you'd have the scoring system, and they realized people were abusing that, so eventually they wound up getting rid of the scoring system and just had the like and dislike, and they figured out that it was easier to code it so that the more clicks people had on there, the more views, the more likely it was to show people. Hey, wait, that's my fireplace. I am not in your walls, Patronodon. I am definitely not in your walls. I'm definitely not in your walls. That would be ridiculous. But, I'm sorry about the weird question. Oh, it's fine. It's fine. It's all good. Did Adrian let you into my house? Let is a strong word. Let is a very strong word. But yes, so after they got rid of the 5-star system, they needed to find a new methodology. So they utilized the idea of the more clicks you get on a video at all, the more your video is shown. They figured through the algorithm. They started implementing an algorithm of sorts. It was very simple at the time. And they realized that people were making misleading thumbnails, right? They realized that the thumbnails that were being utilized for the various videos were not always representative of the video itself, and they didn't have an easy way to police it. And this is around the time we see the rise of the Let's Play. The Let's Play had been around before. There was a Let's Play forum that people had utilized. I'm from the internet. Hello, I'm HimawariKotetsu. Beautiful to see you, glad to have you around. Please stay a while if you'd be so happy to. We have cookies, fire, and rain. It's lovely. But we had the rise of the Let's Play, because back in the day you had a number of forums where you had the Let's Play forums. You had the Giant Bomb forums, you had a bunch of these different forums where people were playing video games for each other and sharing them with each other, and those had started being uploaded on YouTube prior, but had not caught any steam until they realized the problem with the thumbnails and decided to do an adjustment in strategy. Their adjustment in strategy was to take it from clicks on the video itself and adjust to time watched on video. The time watched on the video suddenly saw these individuals from the Let's Playing forum catapulted because their content was long form, it was series, and many times people would binge these things using the playlist system. Around this time we also had the YouTube live streaming for the first time around. Originally YouTube live streaming was utilizing an XAT, a chat program, in order to allow individuals to watch existing YouTube videos with each other on the YouTube platform. It wasn't allowing live broadcasts, it was more chatting with your friends in an IRC-style client while watching your favorite videos. And those led to a bunch of people binging these things, watching all these videos over and over and over again. Those are fed cookies. Hey, listen, they're only fed cookies after you eat them. Before they're eat cookies. During their eat cookies, before they're baked cookies, before that, they're cookie dough, and after you eat them, they're fed cookies because they've been fed to you by your own hand. I swear, you guys never keep track of this stuff. So, the live streaming program was in there, and that was the original foundation, and they shut that down around the time that we had Justin TV come in. And at this point, the Let's Play is keep dope out of the baked cookies. I'm allergic, so of course I wouldn't put them in. But around this time we had the meteoric rise of channels like PewDiePie, Markiplier, eventually Jacksepticeye and the other ones who would come along after. We had Chuck Conroy, we had the Runaway Guys, we had a bunch of different individuals who would all sort of come out there. You see the rise of Game Grumps and other organizations like that, BSP, yes, a lot of different individuals all sort of came out on the backs of these things. We had the vlogs come out, the sort of streaming style content, and that got very big. There are certain things I cannot discuss on live stream for several reasons. However, I will say that certain things had occurred leading in this time period, and decisions were made behind the scenes to intentionally modify what had been done to improve the visibility of authoritative content. It was also to reduce botting that had been done up to this point. So, for a time period, it became less about the retention time you had in a video and the amount of time that people had watched videos on your channel in general, and became far more obsessed even with title, thumbnail, and description. And for a small time period, it was also very obsessed upon the thumbs up and thumbs down. Now, you will still see some channels that are reliant on this old methodology. You'll see a number of these long-form content channels that very, very, very much think that this is still 2010, when you can make the massively long-form content and it'll just carry you, or 2015, or 2000, you get what I'm saying. They think this is still the golden days. Now, there are several ways you can go for it. Now, in some ways, it's become a lot more balanced, because you can, as was stated in an interview prior, you can sit down and find an existing fandom, appeal to that market, build yourself into an actual community, and then build yourself forward, as was done prior. You can purchase advertising space through Google to get people directed to your content through shorts or what have you, an introduction to the channel, and gain people that way. You can do these things, yes? All of these things are built around the concept of the boulder. The boulder is a basic concept which is, in its essence, the idea that you and your channel are a rock. And once you have reached the top of the mountain, everything else will be carried on for you, barring certain things that you do that would stop the rock. Getting up to that rock has always been a different measurement depending on what era we're talking about. At certain points it was about, I'd say about 1,000, 2,000. For a while it was 10,000, 100,000. It all depends really on what kind of market you're in and what kind of saturation is there. There's some artificial business that is on the back end for video gaming content. Video gaming content utilizes a different algorithm than other content. You'll notice that there are a number of individuals who will label their videos that are related to gaming content as financial content. That's because there's a different algorithm for each type of content. So if you're actually making financial content using video games, you would not want to use video games for your financial content. You would want to use finance. In a lot of these cases, you find that these scenarios are all in service of trying to get past the peak of the mountain. Because once you've done that, you can kind of settle in and do what you want. For a lot of individuals, they find that it's impossible. Oh, I'm getting 50 views, I'm getting 20 views, I'm getting 10 views. Well, the problem is you need to start getting the views before you can get the views. In a lot of these cases, I find that people give up right before they're about to hit the spike. And there is a spike. It does come along. There are ways you can get a big channel. I mean, there are certain individuals who I've known in the past who were able to get 250,000 subscribers or more. There are individuals who have been able to get very good mileage out of a simple combination of catchy title, decent thumbnail, good taggage, and utilizing the appropriate categories to be able to get picked up. Video game content has been deranked because, at least in an older interview, I believe the official statement they gave when they were doing the adjustments on the algorithm for negative weighting of video game content, there were too many video games and video game related videos appearing on the front page, and not enough world news. Do not quote me on that, it's been years. So effectively, you've got different rankings for the different things, there's different bubbles that are used. When you hit multiple rankings, you can get multiple different algorithm kicks. There's a bunch of little tricks and things you can do to try and build yourself forward. Or, you can do what I do. I exist. I make good content. Yeah, we're not always doing the same content. Yeah, we're not always doing even the same, group of content. We're just hanging out, you know? And I try to keep things interesting. I talk about, whatever. Try to keep things entertaining, try to keep things educational, and we just have some fun along the way. And there's a lot of individuals who will sit and they will go, hey, no, I'm being hurt by the algorithm, I can't do anything. What's the best processor for gaming? It depends really what you're looking for out of gaming. If we're looking through different, different styles of gaming, you're going to need different ones. Why was the algorithm changed and Let's Plays killed off? Let me try to remember what's been officially stated, so I'm not saying something that gets me in trouble. That's a hard one to explain. Let's just say that there were a number of incidents that occurred in rapid-fire order, and certain individuals got very agitated. In a public interview that was done fairly recently, there was discussion that certain terroristic activities had occurred, and the lack of adequate coverage on YouTube angered certain individuals that really didn't like that, so they adjusted the entire algorithm and cratered Google's value as a company. So on the subject of processors for gaming, Eduardo, I hate you. Stop. On the subject of processors for gaming, I find that really it is not as much of a difference as it used to be. I assume we're talking CPU, yes? Because we've got a lot of different standards depending on what you're really looking for. A lot of these things are far too powerful, really, for what you need for the majority of these. It also depends. Are you talking AAA? Are you talking indie? Because there's a lot of difference when we sit there and we look on these different sources to try and figure out what makes the best product. Intel does some decent processors, of course. AMD does some really decent ones. What I find is when we talk about graphics processing units, you've got the three big dogs. NVIDIA has been very much locking down their hardware quite a lot, and it's made things much more difficult to work with. It's made things a little bit less enjoyable, but it has made things safer. So you don't have as many people frying their GPUs, doing crazy things. There is a lot of mileage you can still get out of the 1080 from NVIDIA. AMD usually has better pricing in general. However, I find that NVIDIA can have better support. Intel, for all of the faults with it, their cards are incredibly affordable, and they're not bad. I have an Intel Arc 770 16GB, and that ran me $250 United States dollars, or abouts. I forget what the insurance thing is there. I changed it temporarily because Noah was asking a question. What's the best processor for gaming? I went back to that one for a bit to try and cover that before going back in. A lot of that whole business is basically down to what's your preference, what's your budget, what are you looking for. If you're looking for more super high-end stuff, NVIDIA is usually the way to go, but it's going to be very locked down. If you're looking for more customizability, you're going to want AMD. If you're looking for good pricing, you're probably going to want Intel. If you want the best overall around, you're probably going to go with AMD. Back onto the YouTube subject, we find that a lot of channels have these interesting skews of what they think is going on with the algorithm. And as somebody who... Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. You're all good, Daniel. I was taking a slight tangent to answer a question. You'll find that a lot of these assertions that they make are kernel of truth in a mountain of salt. Because a lot of this stuff, yes, it can be incredibly difficult. And there are certain topics and certain words that if you say them in a video, your live stream or your video will be deranked slightly, or well, not so much deranked as shift in which algorithm it uses. There are a list of no-no words that you cannot use in your title, and there are a list of words that you should not use in your description, or should not use in your tag. And those change fairly often, but there are ways you can still get access to those. Usually there are different services you can use for those. Yes, Petronodon, I am aware that Mr. Bagster found his way afoul of one of those. It was kind of great. It's kind of great. But there are a number of different words that you just can't use in the description or in the video itself. And if it thinks you used the word, it'll still derank you. So sometimes you have to avoid saying words that sound too much like those other words. Effectively, there's a big old list. Oh yes he did. Oh yes he did. He fell very much afoul of that. Oh, that was fun. But there's a list that's updated fairly regularly of words that you cannot use for whatever the current topic is. No. The fact that he called his channel ugly, Bagster. That was one of the ways that he fell afoul of the system. It's the ugly part. Now the thing is, you don't think that's a big issue. A lot of these lists are adjusted fairly often, from my understanding, yes. Now, don't take me as gospel on any of this, yes? I am a talking computer monitor on the internet who definitely knows nothing about anything, but I'm here talking and we're having a discussion. There is a number of these different terms that are utilized there. You can't use the word death sometimes. Sometimes the context matters, sometimes it doesn't. You can't use bullying terminology in certain cases, but you can in others. And the usage of this changes based on the current paradigm of discussion. Or to put it in actual English, what's popular right now in terms of what the thing is this week decides what those words actually are on the list. Sometimes they'll get you in trouble, sometimes they won't. And a video being uploaded before doesn't change that fact. And remember that if you have, whatever the message is this week, if you have those words in your video, it can shift your algorithm. Now you'll note, I think, again, I'm using Bagstert as an example in a lot of this because I recognize a lot of the names in here from his chat. You'll note that a lot of these, for example, he talked about the simple fact that he had a short that had been doing well and was placed inside of the no-no jail for a time before being corrected and let back out. What happened there is that he had the momentum and it was being set forward. As soon as the momentum stops for almost any reason, it'll be temporarily reduced and then do a slow snowball back forward. This is fairly natural. As soon as you stop getting that momentum, they will hard cut your momentum and then allow it to move forward. Not exactly. It depends. Your politics are more important than that. He still would not have 100K in a week. It's a rough system, but you play with what you got. Now, there are individuals who have figured out ways to work around this stuff, but the workarounds have a way of, as soon as they become popular workarounds, they kind of tend to get tightened up and shut out. So when you're doing a video, if you've got, for example, you're trying to get on the good side of effectively what you have access to keep viewers engaged. There are ways you can get around the algorithm if you have enough viewers already where you can link it around, you can have other websites to do those things for you. I find in personal usage that Twitter does not do as well as people think it does for your video engagement. Their actual engagement of users to bot traffic is far too skewed to do much, but starting out early and at certain points, it can be a good tool in the arsenal. If you're doing Twitch, you really want to have a YouTube and a Twitter to try and direct people on because you need to get beyond that magic initial number to try and get people in, to be rating, to think that you're a interesting target, because you have to have something to have something. On YouTube, it can be a similar way. That said, unless you can skirt around the algorithm, hide around the algorithm, find other ways to go through it, you find yourself into a position where you will have some issues if you ever happen to slip out of it. Ways you can slip out of the algorithm are having any video on your channel which is demonetized. Federated platforms can be decent for it. Depending on your market, you have to understand who your market is in order to understand where you want to advertise for your VTubing. On the terms of VTubing, as controversial as this is, 4chan can be a decent place, Reddit can be a decent place, depending on who your market is. You have to understand what kind of group are you going for, where are the people who want to watch your content, your audience, even if they don't realize they're your audience yet, where are they? Find those locations and advertise there. If you're on Twitter, you're going to get the people who use Twitter. If you're on 4chan, you're going to get the people who use 4chan. If you're on Reddit, you're going to get the people who use Reddit. It's very, very simple, right? You get what you have access to. For VTubing marketing and for any marketing, I usually recommend having a good understanding of what tags people watch on your content or watch on content similar to yours. There are ways you can access the tags on other people's videos to see what other people are tagging on, and you can go, okay, these are the things that generally work for them, and these people have an audience that is similar to the one that I want. Now, what I'm talking about here is not leeching their audience. What I'm talking in that sense is understanding these are the kind of people I wish to cultivate, these are the places I wish to go with this, and one of the ways you can do it is, of course, by going through Google AdSense. Effectively, you're placing advertisements for your videos. Ideally, you want a 30-second or less video, and you would have it not necessarily be a short, but an intro to your channel that explains why people would want to watch your channel. Then you would use a basic sort of, you'd use that system, understand the tags that you're hitting, put the tags in appropriately, find the regions of the world that you want to advertise those to, put out a little short advertising campaign with a budget you can handle, And congratulations, you've got yourself closer up the hill. Rumble has grown far too fast for my comfort, and the fact that they had almost no support or technology to start with, and then magically found themselves suddenly getting all of these things fixed overnight has me concerned, but I do see the potential as a replacement. Hello, Xanathid! Welcome, welcome, welcome. We're having a little early morning chat, and I have been enjoying it. I'm discussing the eccentricities of YouTube and online content creation as an individual with about 15 years in content creation. It's fun. Hello! So, when you're looking at a lot of these things, you'll find that it's about figuring out where your markets are. Now, one thing I will say, there is no harm in posting your videos on multiple locations. Ideally, what you could do, for example, were there not a live streaming on YouTube, what I used to do before live streaming was back on YouTube on prior projects, I would stream it on Twitch, upload it on YouTube, and save it on Twitch, then upload it on other third-party platforms as well, so you're stacking about on various platforms to get the most exposure. Because every time somebody clicks on that website, there's a chance, every time you put one of those videos on there, every single time, there's a chance you get caught up in somebody's idea of a push for something popular. Because a lot of the algorithm is moving not based on some magical machine or this, that, the other, but because they want somebody to be popular. And you ride that wave. A lot of this is the adoption curve. There are those who are early adopters. And the early adopters, before something gets popular, for example, we use Five Nights at Freddy's. Back in the day, it doesn't feel like it was that long ago, but back in the day we had the Five Nights at Freddy's craze just starting off. And those individuals, you'll note the ones who put the content out earliest, who got a good feel for this thing, that catapulted their channels very, 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 very quickly. It's not so much that I like some big city words that make pretty mouth noises, it's more the English that I learned first is the big words. I didn't learn the little words until after I knew the big words. Because I learned my English from white papers, I learned my English from, well, the Bible, I learned my English from a lot of sources that weren't, you know what I mean? That weren't like the standard sources. I didn't have an official teacher to teach me English. My linguistics came from research documentation, from code books for electricians' work, for all these different coding books and other things, which is what partially makes it so easy for me to learn a bunch of these different sources. For example, my family did not exactly have money in my parents' generation, and the mouth noises do be pretty, though. Thank you. My parents did not have much money, but we did have what was left over from generations prior. And so we had access to a number of older materials. And my father was very stressed, very busy. We were moving around a lot. We were doing a lot of travel. We'd been to Kyoto, we'd been to Berlin, we'd been to Wiesbaden, a lot of different places. And we didn't exactly have room to be able to carry children's books with us. So I would have a user's manual on programming COBOL read to me to get me to go to sleep. I was read COBOL and Fortran to go to sleep. So the most comforting thing in the world to me is to read a user manual describing how to code in Fortran. And a lot of that influenced my linguistics further on. Military brat, close enough. Close enough. And we'll leave it at that. Yes, so a lot of my eccentricities come from the simple fact that the linguistics I learned first was the complicated things, which then allowed me to learn the simple things easier. Phonics is a good way of simplifying the complex words. However, sometimes I do find that the more complicated your start, the easier going you have on the later areas. Himawari doxing session. No, I could give you a lot of information and it would give you no information. It's the beautiful thing, isn't it? It's the beautiful thing. Because the thing is, you have to understand how ridiculous my journey is from point A to point B. And I will tell you right now, were I to give far more information than this, it would still not be enough to untangle the absolute clusterfuck that has been my life. It's the beautiful thing, isn't it? It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. So, yes. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Hearts and things. So, yes. Good point. Give us your social and government. Challenge appreciated. Heart. That's not a challenge. I know I'm going to be doxxed eventually. I'd prefer not to be. Thank you very much. But yes. So, back onto the subject. So you have these different you have this algorithm that's going on, yes, and there are ways to get around it. And I do recommend that while I would not say avoid YouTube, avoid Twitch, because Twitch and YouTube are the two biggest game in town. By avoiding either of those, you are cutting yourself off markedly a great deal. What I would say is if you see a service such as BitChute or Rumble or what have you crop up, you have very little to lose and a decent amount to potentially gain by expanding into those markets as well. Not to make them your primary, but to expand into them. And you may find, such as I did back in the day with BitChute, that there was an expansion that was much more rapid there than there was on other platforms. And then I was able to redirect some of that traffic back over towards the main YouTube when that business was going on, do a little bit of work here and there to try and build out your stuff. Because you are trying to get eyes on your product. If your product is in more locations, more individuals have an opportunity to realize your product exists in the first place. And this can lead to your product being seen. No one will click on your product randomly if they don't think anyone is clicking on your product. Now, there are individuals who will. OMG, you're just Bagster doing pretty mouth words, aren't you? Boom. Doxed. Definitely. You know, it was actually just me, Bagster, doing the side-by-side voice when we did our collab. It was great. But yes, the more places you can get, the more places you can put your content, the better off you're going to be. That said, be fully aware of the kind of audience you're advertising to. Because you are going to pick up an audience, and some of them are going to actively despise you when they find out who you are, especially if you're trying to be someone who you're not. And when I say that, is y'all are never in the same room. Ooh. It's true. It's true. We're never in the same room. It's all pre-recorded. It's all pre-recorded insanity. But yes, you have to be mindful of the audience you're building. You have to be mindful of how you're working with these individuals and mindful of what you're building as you go. Because this game is interesting, and you have to be ready for it all to go away. Because sometimes you will cross the wrong person, even for a second, and even if you're not aware of the fact that you crossed that individual can become very cross with you, hunt down your content, flag your videos, and get your entire channel, with over 250,000 subscribers, just snapped right out of existence. And then you're back at square zero, and you've got to start it all again, and then you've got to start it all again, and you've got to start it all again, because everything sucks. But you have to understand, hypothetically of course, you have to understand, yes, it did. I had over 250,000 subscribers, I had a channel that I had worked on since 2007, and it was snapped out of existence in an instant because I made the wrong person angry. At least that's one way to talk about it. I'm not bitter. I'm just a little bit bitter. I can't. Anyway, moving on. Moving on. There are always going to be things that will destroy what you've got. However, you have to remember when you're dealing with this thing that 98% of all businesses go bankrupt within their first year. Many of those are going bankrupt because they're overexpanding. They're doing their own thing. They are flailing in the darkness. However, are you aware of how many of those 98% are someone's third attempt, fourth attempt, fifth attempt, sixth attempt? Do you know how many attempts you have to make to get a business, even if you happen to have millions of dollars to start with in financial capital? before you can finally get a success. On average. How many businesses do you think you have to have, on average, go bankrupt before you have one that's successful? Do you guys think it's 2? 4? 10? How many do you think it is? Because that's something you have to keep in mind. That the majority of businesses, 98%, are bankrupt in the first year. 2% actually succeed past the first year. And of those, many of those are people's 4th, 5th, 6th business. And bankruptcy is not nearly the end of your entire thing there. And in that case, it depends. There are the occasional ones who strike lightning or have things. Daniel, those could certainly be examples of such things. The graduation and replication of an individual as a new entity is most often... Yes, but for every one of those that hits a home run on the first attempt, there's 100,000 more that really don't hit it. And usually those ones that hit the home runs on the first attempt either get the right mixture at the right time, or they have a lot of practice that goes in ahead of time. So VTuber graduations and reappearances are very much like the corporations. Even when you're doing an indie VTuber sort of scenario, right? You are very likely to have a channel that just dies completely, falls apart, you get banned for making a wrong misstep, angering the wrong individual, doing whatever you can. You'll find that these situations crop up all the time. And what you do is you accept that it has happened, you learn from what had happened to get you into that point, into that position, and you move forward. Because it does not matter how big a product is. It doesn't matter how successful you are. Failure is always an option, and failure will eventually come. However, failure is not permanent so long as you get back up and you make another attempt using what you learned from the last time. It doesn't matter if you've lost a channel with 5 subscribers, 500 subscribers, 5 million subscribers, if you've lost a business that had $500 invested or $500 billion invested. What matters is, are you still standing? And if you're not still standing, are you still laying? Are you still sitting? Are you still breathing? If you're still breathing, congratulations, you can, with some effort, get back up. It sucks. You're probably going to fall back down many, many, many times over, but you keep getting back up. And eventually it'll work for a little while longer. Or maybe a lot longer. Or maybe you get that first-time home run. But the point remains, even if you get that first-time home run and then you fall down on your face, it's still not over. Because you're still breathing. And you've still got another attempt, and you've still got another chance. You've still got another way to break through and do it again. Something different. If one thing doesn't work, maybe something else does. Maybe it wasn't you that time. Maybe it was circumstance. But I sit here and tell you right now, even if it is circumstance that has kept you away from this thing, even if it is as such, is anyone else going to care? And what are you going to do this time to get past that? It's harsh, it's rough, it sucks, but it's the truth. What are you going to do this time, knowing what happened last time? How do you get back up? How do you get in the saddle? Where's the positioning on the stirrup? Where's your grasp on the reins? Where was it last time? I'm an angsty SOB. How do I avoid stepping on a bear trap? You have to understand that there's a million bear traps, and you're going to step on one eventually. The thing is not avoiding stepping on the bear trap at all. The thing is not... Exactly, Eduardo. It's not others that care about it. It's you. You care. Exactly. You have to understand that you are going to step on that bear trap eventually. Prepare yourself, steel yourself, understand that you're going to step on it eventually, and figure out how you can best step on it to cause the least damage. How am I going to step on... I'm going to eventually step on a bear trap. I will try my best to avoid it. I will minimize the amount of bear traps I walk around. I'm going to minimize the bear country I stay in. I'm going to know that eventually I'm going to step on one, so how do I figure out for me how best to avoid stepping directly, hard, into that bear trap, and maybe instead of losing a foot, I lose a toe. Or some of the skin on my foot if I'm really lucky. And Eduardo hit the nail on the head. The true question is not, do others care about what I'm doing? It's, do I? Because at the end of the day, what we're dealing with here is vanity under the sun. All things are vanity under the sun. Do you think that the man who makes $15 billion actually has anything? Yes, he has money, but he's got more money than he could ever physically spend. By having all of that money, he's got himself a big target on his back. He's going to have to bow down to whoever is around, because guess what? That money's not going to buy him happiness at night. He's going to lay down on that pillow, he's going to sit there and think, who is going to kill me for my finances tomorrow? How do I avoid this? He's got a billion little things running through his head. He's got all these little things filling his mind. I feel like I'll stomp on one for the hell of it. Gotta work on temperance. You know, I will say sometimes the best way to avoid a bear trap is to stomp so hard you break it. It all depends on the situation, and earnestly it's about finding how hard would you have to stomp to break it in two. Can you do it? Do you have what it takes to break it? And doing a calculation of the risks. All things in moderation, and moderation in all things. And back to the point, as I said, all things under the sun are vanity in the wind. There is nothing that you can do that will still be here 100,000 years from now. There is not a single thing. And that is a cause for despair in many, but I argue in this moment that it is also a cause for joy. Because, in that matter, anything that you do can hold value. Anything that you decide to do, you set your mind unto it, and you decide this is the thing that I will dedicate myself to, even if you fail over and over again, even if it's something that no one else on earth respects, no one else cares for, no one else even thinks about. If you've done it, you've done it. And all the money in the world can't change the fact that you did it, or the regret that you didn't. I have been homeless on the streets. I have lived in luxury. And yet, I've lived. The tongues of fools are constantly wagging, and I myself am a fool, of course. Many problems are caused by saying too much, few by too little. Yes. And I realize I cause many problems, but I'm an entertainer. I'm here to wag my tongue. I'm here to be the fool. I'm here to be the entertainer. And I'm here to be constantly providing a little bit of background noise and a little bit of entertainment for folks. I kind of have to talk. It's true. It's in the job description. I think I've got it on a plaque here somewhere. If I'm not dancing, the music's not playing. And if the music's not playing, well, no one's here. Your value just existing. You are value, just existing, increase and decrease the value of the system you're around. Yes. And personally, I very much enjoy decreasing the value of the system. Ah, lovely. But yes, I assure people here, there are individuals who will tell you your life's pursuit is meaningless. There are individuals who will sit there and scoff, they'll stare down. It doesn't matter if you're the richest man on earth, someone will look down on you. Someone is going to. And I say break your foot off in their ass. No, it's better to break off someone else's foot in their ass. Much better. Funny in that, isn't it? Very funny. You hold a value. As much a value as anything else out here, really, in many ways. But understand that also none of us hold value, and in that regard, be humble in your pursuits, be an understanding. Sit and realize that because there is so little stability, so little cause, if you get too cocksure, if you get too overly confident, if you get too built up upon yourself, as I often been one to do, you will be brought crashing back down, hard and fast. Once we entered this world, we found ourselves with nothing, kicking and screaming into the night, covered in blood and fluid. And out from this world we travel not with a cavalcade of mourners, not with those who we love, not with the finances we have gathered. We are alone, cold, and crying. So realize that what you have right now is more than you've ever had before, more than you will have by the end, and anything you have can be good. The Emperor's Patronum says, the Emperor's hoarded power while the monks tended their spice gardens. Now their gardens are still here, while the Emperors are forgotten. Walk among kings, nor lose the common touch. Exactly, my friends, exactly. You have to understand these things. Everything in moderation. There'd be a season for everything and a thing for every season. A time of peace and a time of war, a time of love and a time of hate. In all things moderation, in all things humility, in all things love. Very simplistic. And earnestly, I do enjoy being able to discuss these things in a more complex manner. Now, those of you who have seen my other videos, you'll note that most often I prefer to hold a more simplistic dialogue. I prefer to hold these speakings that are more common linguistics. I prefer it. I genuinely do. When I'm doing almost any of my content, I prefer to simplify my language to be able to appeal to a more common denominator and not appear quite as much of a prat. Now, I mean, like, literally money's run on credit. Credit exists because it uses human life as collateral. More people, more potential credit, more value. I could have a discussion on that, but I will not. They gathered gold as monks gilded pages. The gold repossessed while the books remain. There is a lot to be said for the value of man being placed upon the incorrect things. If by Rudyard Kipling. Nice. We have to understand that there is no shame in going to the feet of others and seeing what they had lain in their wake. There is no shame to be had in asking for assistance. There is no shame to be asking for guidance. There's no shame to know that you know nothing. In my case, I know that I know literally nothing at all. And in many a case, I have been called a fool, and I accept that blame and that brand very, very open-heartedly. Were I not to be one to wish to be called a fool, I would not act as such. Yet it is so much fun to play the fool. So much fun to be battered around and just have a good time, let loose, not play on intellect, not be something magnificent or something anything else, but sometimes it does behoove me to take a moment out and actually have a proper intellectual discussion about things that, quite honestly, stick firmly in my mind. Things which I yearn to discuss but find lacking the verbiage to do so, or rather the appropriate timing. In this moment I find myself a relaxation in the simple things. This is a late time stream. It's outside of my normal areas, and there are very few who will find their way to this point, if watching the video on a later date. And does that matter? No. Were I more awake, more collected, lowbrow cannon fodder, so to say, of my regular fancy, would come out more fruitfully, and it would be enjoyable. For what use is language if one cannot discuss ideals, theories, thoughts? What use is an intellect if one utilizes it in such a poor manner as to hide his words behind haughty dialect? I am, in many ways, an intellectual obscurantus, which is a fancy way of saying I am dumb. Y'all got McChicken out there? I don't usually eat pre-made food. I usually, I like to just get last day of sale, whatever the cheapest meat they've got that's not pork because I'm allergic, and I just cook it up myself. Many words with little to say. Tunes back into the channel, sees Himawari juggling apples and doing stand-up. I know, right? I know, right? That's the good thing about this channel. You never know what you're getting. You tune in, and even if you sit and you see, hey, it says Himawari's playing Stalker, you could come in and then I'm reading The Shadow over Innsmouth around a campfire while a man revolver ocelots a pistol. You could come into a stream and I could be just... One of these days, I'm going to just do a stream where it's, like, labeled as, like, me reading a book, and you're just going to come in, and you're going to see me doing, like, a full Geary-style cooking stream. Just to keep people on their toes. Such a good story. There are some really good stories out there. We were reading The Man in Yellow earlier today. It was so nice. Or the King in Yellow. King in Yellow. Thank you, Brain. I always get those two titles confused. Man in Yellow is the man from Curious George. McChicken just hit different. I'll be honest, sometimes there is that desire for very cheap food. Though for me, when I want cheap food, I don't go to McDonald's, right? What I go is to one of those American restaurants, Chinese restaurants, that they're called American restaurants in other places because it's not Chinese food. I like your version of King in Yellow. Had balls in it. Yeah, I know, right? I go to the very, very cheap Chinese restaurants, the American-style Chinese restaurants, and those ones are so nice, because they've just got, like, the big thing of food, and you just, like, go, what do they have here in these massive things of food? I'll grab some of that. That'll be $5, please. And you're just like, oh, $5? Yeah, it's like $5. Wow. Because it's so cool. It's cool, man. You have these, like, you can order, like, all this, and you can get so much food to keep your family fed for so little. And there's always a wonderful atmosphere, and it's like, this is the cheapest stuff. I know it's not good for me, but you know what? The MSG fuels me. The MSG fuels me. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Is it bad of me that on occasion I would find time out of my day to sit outside of places like the Waffle House with friends of mine, and we'd all be eating cheap Chinese watching them fight from the safety of being outside the building? Is that wrong of me? Am I a terrible person? Am I the asshole? Because it's just kind of not, like, you get the guys together, you load up in the back of a crappy old pickup truck. You can hear the wheel about ready to fall off. The gore's been gone for years. By the way, that's what the back door on the truck... Okay, so you know trucks in the United States, right? Lorries, whatever you want to call them. You know how you have that little back gate that flips down, right? I learned this some time ago. That is called a gore. That's called a gore. And I also know how to assemble one and how to take it off even if it's locked. Okay, that was a bit too much information, but still, you can feel the gores, like, ready to fall off. You got one of the guys who's leaning on back. You're all having a few drinks, except for the driver who's sitting there doing his thing. You go up to the Waffle House. You got the cheap Chinese that you got from the American restaurant, and you just sit down with the guys, crack open a few cold ones, sit and have some sipping whiskey, eat your cheap Chinese and your MSG, and you watch people fight in the Waffle House. There's something so beautifully American about it, and I adore it. I adore it such a great deal. It is incredibly relaxing. There's something just unparalleled about it. My cousin's a chef and opens restaurants for Mario Kanto. Even he says he's got nothing on McDonald's or MSG-laced food. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Dude. Oh my gosh. There are so many interests that I hold here that I can't even begin to imagine just focusing on one of them. You know what I mean? A lot of people say that I would get much farther in life were I to be able to focus wholeheartedly on any one of my interests. But the thing is, there's so much to do in this world and so little time and so little meaning of it that I just have to do all of it. I do some of the artwork. I've done painting. I've done... Well, at one point I knew how to play the banjo, guitar, bass guitar, upright bass, cello, trumpet. Once upon a time. Now I've got piano. Lovely, lovely piano. Wonderful piano. I love the piano so much. It is relaxing. The world is full of too many interesting things and not enough time. Never enough time. You ever wonder that? If you had all the time in the world, every time you finished learning something, something new would come along that you could learn. And yet somehow people sit and they say, I am bored. I have nothing I can do. Yet I look upon them and I say, you have been blessed with a time period where informational access is greater than it has ever been, where there are vast libraries of human knowledge at the access of your fingertips. You can learn how to play any instrument on earth. You can learn the greatest works of art. Machiavelli, Gabe, Plato. That's a reference to a song. Machiavelli, Plato, Aristotle, all at the tips of your fingers. The whole of human knowledge is right there, if you look hard enough. You've got access to video content that is uploaded, years of video content every single minute. Ne'er could you watch it all, because for the time that you would take to finish 1 year, thousands of years of more content would already be uploaded. Yes, much of it duplicate, much of it not worth watching, but you get my meaning. There is so very much out there. Sing us a song, Piano Man. I could power up the piano. The problem is my little recording setup is in the same room as the piano, but the piano is facing a completely different direction. He was like, look, I can take years to master flavor, but fast food has literal science to make it addictive. I can understand that a lot. And so much of us have so much science to make our food incredibly addictive. That's why I prefer the simple stuff. I make my own carbonated water. I have lemon juice and ginger. Cook simple food. Live a simple life. Make my own curry. I love curry. A good curry is very delicious. I actually have a Burberry curry recipe that I love. It's phenomenal. I learned this lovely African curry recipe, and it is phenomenal. Africa was a wonderful place last time I was that way. It's actually really lovely, the kind of food you can get from these things. I really do love so much that is out there. I find that there are a number of individuals who simply don't appreciate what is out there. Many because they are racked with guilt, or fear, or what have you, past mistakes, past scenarios. Poverty, of course, that can be a good one. But there are many ways that can be used to modify scenarios. Stretch. Stretch? Did I say something about stretch? That's the problem with this delay. By the time we get to a response to something, my brain's already moved on to another bit of the discussion. Because I'm trying to cover out ideas that are ratcheting through my head at a very rapid pace. People don't understand just how loaded my brain can be with different thoughts and ideas and things that I really want to share, but they just get lost in the mix. Can you read the short story Slow Poison of an Endless Fantasy on stream? If you can find it. No, I'm saying stretch, but I don't know how crip you are. My brain is having difficulty parsing. I'm probably going to be reminded by somebody else later. It's like, he was saying this. He was saying this. And I'm going to be like, oh, I'm dumb. Yeah. Can you read the shorts? Yeah. If you link it in the Discord, which, by the way, we do have a Discord. You folks are free to join it. It should be in the description of the video, I think. Maybe. I'm not sure. It should be in the Discord. The Discord should be linked to the description of this video. If not, I will edit it real quick to add it to the description of the video. We have a lovely little Discord. It's a beautiful thing. Beautiful thing. Beautiful thing. Yes, it is linked in the description. Hurrah. Hurrah, hurrah, hooray. Hey, by the way, guys, I thought I would just let you guys know. Are you aware that according to YouTube, there are -1 people watching right now, according to my dashboard? I just saw that. I love that. I love that. Proper possum massage, dude. If by Rudyard Kipling. Poetry Foundation. Hell yes. -1 viewers. I love that. Yeah, it's like I'm sitting here, I'm like, I know I've got more than that. YouTube. I find it fascinating. Very fascinating. But yes, there's a lot of things that go on. There's 3 of us, exactly. I was saying you should stretch, but I don't know how bad your disability is. Ah, okay. Let me put it this way. I have recently been able to walk without a cane. Stretching is not as much an issue for me. Now that said, I will stretch. However, to do so, I will move my little self, because it's going to glitch the heck out of the model. And while I am stretching, I will move things around and move and... Sorry, I get fascinated every time I see that. Every time I see that.
I'd go for a stretch, and I'd just have some fun. A little bit simple.
Whew! I like piano, I enjoy piano. Piano's fun. Just do a little bit of simple, play around, have some fun with it. You'll have to forgive me if my piano playing is not up to par. Yoink. I'm back. Tiny little stretch. Nothing major. Hi! I don't know where that melody is from, but it's stuck in my head and has been for a while. It's just kind of there. I know it's got to be from something, but it's so simplistic it may not be from anything. I'm sorry, what? Somebody's subscriber goal was that they would eat an entire lemon on stream. Huh. That's fascinating, isn't it? Fascinating. Ah, well. I love seeing the Chibidoki tweets on Twitter. They're always amazing and I love them. I've seen Japanese VTubers do peace streams. I'm sorry, you want to run that one by me again? Why is that a thing? Well, I mean, I know why it's a thing. It brings in good monetization, but still. Damn, son. You frying chicken in there? Piece of cake. Piece of cake. Bum bum. Bum bum. Bum bum. Bum bum. Bum bum. So, I think, given the time period and the fact that I've got some of this stuff done, I will be going off for the night to deal with a few things of my own, and do a bit more voice acting considering I've just gotten a message on the red phone. Why? 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 I was literally getting ready to end the stream and go get some sleep. Because other things have been put on the sidelines. And I just got a message on the red phone as I am getting ready to go to sleep. What is it? What is it? What is it? Why do you need something at 4 in the morning? Excuse me, gentlemen. I have to go do some more takes. These are prime jacketed hours, I know, right? No, it's prime. Somebody needs more takes done. And I'm glad I did this instead of going to bed, sleeping for 2.5 hours, and then being woken up again. That's actually pretty good timing. I'm not mad. I'm not mad. No, that's fine. I'm not mad. Yay! Thank you guys so much for coming out. Thank you guys for hanging out. Regularly scheduled content will resume in the morrow. Where around 1900 GMT, UDT, whatever, we'll be doing something. I don't know what yet, but what I'm going to be doing right now is more voice acting work, and I love everything forever. I love everything forever. Everything is great. Everything is awesome, and I'm not mad at all. Totally not mad. I'd never be mad. No way, no how. Never. Never, ever, ever, forever, never, ever. I'm gonna fucking kill somebody.